Hello everyone, Mark here, Mark's Max Muscle, and this is your Sunday fan request. Big Ramy versus Dennis James. This is a very popular request. I've seen this one a lot on Fan Request Friday, and You Pick Tuesday, things of that nature, but never ever nailed it. Now, how did I get to this week's You Pick Sunday matchup? Well, I looked at the most popular video that I did this week, and I found the most popular request on that video, so kudos. And guys, this here is not a flexed picture of Big Ramy. Now this one is, and it's not the clearest picture in the world. And I have to say there is a couple of pictures of Big Ramy, and they are not the clearest. So you can't really tell conditioning, things of that nature. But this is a front relaxed anyway, so duly noted is this. Let us, without further ado, get into the poses, beginning with the front double by, and I will bring you guys a couple of different versions. I believe this is a 2008 Dennis James, if I'm not mistaken. There is a 2006. Looks a lot like this version, but I think this is 2008. And of course, this is 2020 for Big Ramy. And food for thought, I will be showing a couple of different versions of Big Ramy as well. Not for all of the poses, but anyway, structurally speaking, Big Ramy, a lot different than Dennis James, and that's surprising to me. I thought these guys were going to be, identical, but it appears the clavicle width, the Big Ramy, he's not known as being big just because of his height. He's only probably a couple inches taller than Dennis James. He's just so big everywhere. I mean, that, like I said, the clavicle width and the legs, my soul. Now, conditioning-wise, Dennis James, he is nobody's fool. He is he's awesome. Let's have a look at some younger versions of these guys, and you guys love this 2014 Big Ramy, and I don't blame you. The arms, the midsection, probably the best he has ever had to offer, Big Ramy. And those quads, mind-blowing, guys. Dennis James, look at him when he was in his younger years. That midsection and the V-taper, not to mention the world-class biceps, triceps. The guy was unbelievable. Both of these guys were unbelievable and still are. Dennis James, still at his age, he looks fantastic. Follow him on Instagram, things of that nature. I watch his live broadcasts. He helps people out. I always tune into those. Pretty funny, actually, a lot of them. Let's go to the front lat spread. And like I said, guys, I was astonished how different these guys were structurally. I mean, the lower lat insertions, I believe, at least from the front, for Big Ramy, definitely, this is going to be a better pose for him than Dennis James. Dennis, he's huge. He's doing what he can with this pose. I mean, vascularity, the guy is huge and conditioned. So I think this was the right coach for Big Ramy. And obviously, this is why the request was made, because he was coaching him. They were doing the panic mode training that became very, very famous, that panic mode training. Let's have a look at the younger versions, and look at this, guys. Look at this. The advantage of the V-taper switches over to Dennis James. My soul. So he wasn't just a big mass monster. He was a very aesthetic creature. He was built perfect for bodybuilding, and he put on the mass, did Dennis James. And, he was good. He was darn good. He just never won the Olympia, so turn to the side for the first of two side shots. Dennis James in this side chest. You know what? It seems that he's being dwarfed by Big Ramy in most of the shots, and dare I say he may be losing the overall, will Dennis James. But guys, this here side chest, the upper body, Dennis is taking Big Ramy to school, not only in conditioning, but size as well. Can you believe the size of Dennis James? He is massive. Now the legs, of course, Big Ramy. He's got the best side leg display in bodybuilding. Maybe Akim Williams. You guys know Akim. Fantastic leg development as well. But man, you know what? I'm going to make this my thumbnail, I think. Just to, make people think Dennis James is going to win this one. But hey, it's not over. He could. Now the side tricep, I think this is a little bit exposing of Dennis James with the midsection. I mean, he's a very thick individual. He's thick everywhere. He's just massive. And the midsection, it's going to go along with that physique. But still, he is a force. Big Ramy, also a big giant force. I'm interested, actually. Let's take a look at a couple of younger versions. These two in the 2014. So aesthetically pleasing, this Big Ramy. Lean. And look at Dennis James. Still a little thicker in the midsection, but thicker and bigger everywhere else. He had his hair back then. Just a young man, a young buck was Dennis James. So, the side shots, he's doing pretty good against the 2020 Mr. Olympia champion, Big Ramy. All right, guys, back time. And this is 2005, I do believe, Dennis James. Look at the conditioning of his glutes. Now, glute for glute, I don't know. I still say Ramy might be a little drier. But wow, guys, not too many bodybuilders have that mass coupled with that type of conditioning in those glutes. Unbelievable. Now, when you look at the back developments, Big Ramy, he is so big. Yeah, it's not even a matchup. Now, here is a 2003 of Dennis James, and this is probably, in my opinion, his best version. He placed, what did he place here? Third at the Olympia? Is that what he placed? Third or fourth? Should have did my homework on that one, but anyway, I think this was his highest placing at the Olympia, and my soul, he was peeled, as Sean Roden says, just peeled. And so is Big Ramy, though, and he's bigger. So even using this version, and this is a very unclear picture, and I would have used every single pose for 2003 had they been clear pictures, but you can't tell conditioning, so you got to pretty much write it off. Go to the next of the two back shots, the back double by. Dennis James, guys, he is not too bad. He is a big, thick, hardy bodybuilder, and coupled with that good conditioning, if this guy had been around at the right time, right point in time, the guy could have won the Olympia. And I'm not speaking loose here. It's all about the right timing. He obviously, when Dennis James was in his prime around, there was, Coleman, Jay Cutler, Dexter Jackson. Very difficult to crack even that top 4 or 5 placings at the Olympia in his day. But anyway, guys, conditioning plus, but so is Big Ramy. And that was his secret, I think. He was just so dry, so big. Here's the 2003, and this is a good picture of Dennis James. And you know what? I honestly think he was better conditioned. Years later, he was bigger and more conditioned, but he wasn't as aesthetically pleasing. He wasn't as balanced as he was here in 2003, Dennis James. But still, guys, not too many people on this planet, ever, and that's including all of the top bodybuilders, can stand up against Big Ramy in either of the back shots, in my opinion. Ramy, no, he doesn't have the most muscle separation. He doesn't have the lat insertions. What he does have is a very aesthetically pleasing look, which I do appreciate. Aesthetics can defeat muscle size. And he has the conditioning. His conditioning is drier than almost anybody's. I'm here to tell you. So with that, that's a deadly combination. Let's finish this one off. And I gotta say, in the ab and thigh, Big Ramy not only larger, but like I said, he is very aesthetically pleasing, at least in this comparison. Now, Dennis James, his one weak spot, much like a Phil Heath, he had a distension in his midsection. But the guy was so big, so enormous and full, that it kind of goes along with it. Big Ramy, he's a freak, guys. And this is a very lean version of Big Ramy. And to develop a flat midsection like Big Ramy has and diced abs at his size, so rare. Definitely winning in the pose. Now here is a Dennis James, a young man here, and he is aesthetically pleasing. He does have a good midsection. But then you rewind the clock for Big Ramy, and geez Louise, guys. Like I said, a freak. He's the freak of all freaks. No mass monster like this ever had a tiny midsection like this. Big Ramy. And, not too many people are singing his praises. They do some places. They do. The people that do appreciate him know how special he is, but a lot of people saying he's overrated. Big Ramy is anything but overrated. Go to the most muscular, and Dennis James, he's definitely not overrated. If anything, he's underrated. The guy was a mass monster. And like I said, aside from a thicker midsection, which he has, genetically speaking, it's probably, he can't avoid that. Other than that, the guy was perfect. Look at this most muscular, standing up against Big Ramy. Not in the legs, though. Nobody can. Look at the size of Big Ramy's quads. Unbelievable. This man is unbelievable. Now we will truly finish this one off with I guess this is a crab position. I think this is the New York Pro, I'm not exactly sure, of the year for Big Ramy, but this was a turning point for him. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this was the event that he defeated, Victor Martinez. He defeated Victor Martinez, and Victor Martinez was at a turning point in his career as well, so if I'm not mistaken, that was this event, the New York Pro. Big Ramy was big, thick, strided, and so was Dennis James. On a smaller scale, he is giving Big Ramy a run for his money, more than a run for his money, at least in the most muscular, defeating him in the side chest. But other than that, guys, it was Big Ramy Mamdouh Elssbiay stood head and shoulders above Dennis James, and Dennis would be the first one to admit that, yes, he is totally superior as far as the genetics, the structure is concerned. And hey, not too many people could ever argue with that. Big Ramy, the freak of all freaks. He has the mass of Dennis James. He has the small midsection of Sergio Oliva. I mean, come on, guys. The gifts continue. He's able to achieve strided, dry glutes. Not too many people, guys. Not too many people. And Dennis James helped him there. If anybody but Dennis James, he did have that mass. He did have those dry glutes. So, hey, kudos to both of them, guys. They earned the Olympia. They earned the Sandow at the Olympia 2020. Hit thumbs up on the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel. That was your Sunday fan request, and I like to obtain my Sunday fan requests different fashions and different means. Hit thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Have a great day.